The 2023 Kentucky football schedule is here. It's right in front of your face. You're looking at it. You're also looking at Nick Roush and Adam Luckett, courtesy of our good friends at portroyalplants.com. Visit them today. Enjoy some of their organic CBD products. Look, I've got some right here. This
I just got
balm.
some the other day.
It's life-saving on that old man back of mine, especially playing in my old man basketball league. Check them out today. And also check out the schedule below. Look, it came out Tuesday night on the SEC Network. Felt like they put a little bit of pep in their stuff this year. They still made it. I think it's like 8 minutes is how long it takes to capture an audience on when it comes to ratings. So they gave us like the first half of the schedule in 8 minutes. We got a random booger sighting in there like 2 minutes in, which was really unnecessary that I didn't need. But they didn't take too much of their time. What was your initial thought when you first saw this 2023 Kentucky football schedule?
November is a gauntlet. First thought is, I think this might be the hardest. Like, my first immediate thought was like, man, this is a tough schedule. Like, this might be the hardest they've had under Stoops. We'll get to Alabama's the elephant in the room, but Nick, there's 3 really important SEC games Kentucky has every year. Usually they've been able to win them, and that's set them up for good seasons. South Carolina, Missouri, and then Mississippi State when they're able to get Mississippi State at home. Each of those games falls at an inopportune spot here. Missouri the week after Georgia, Mississippi State the week after Tennessee, South Carolina the week after Alabama. That's a tough turnaround for all 3 of those games. So that jumped out to me. And then obviously the start, like you're seeing a 4-0 start, but you've got 9 conference games or 9 power conference games in a row starting on September 23rd. So that's pretty tricky.
Yeah, and I think to look at it through the other lens, you can be excited that a brand new starting quarterback who's going to come from some school we don't know, he's on a roster elsewhere right now, will be the starter for the first 4 games of the regular season. That's a nice landing spot for a new quarterback to get their feet wet, to get acclimated to the system, to get some live action under their belt. You get Florida at home to really kind of get things rocking and rolling, and then Georgia. There is this might be your best time to get Georgia now that they flipped it. I will say I'm going to die on the hill that like CM Newton just teed up Florida for eternity because they never make him play up north when it's cold weather, and it's kind of a load of crap in my opinion. Like, come on, we flipped the whole schedule. We've got
they've moved everybody
except
Florida. That's always in either
September.
Well, they have moved it a little bit because it used to be the first SEC game. Now even the movement is just like a couple weeks later. It's either last week September, first week of October, and then it's always Kentucky plays down there week 2 or week 3.
Yeah, it's I'm not happy with it. That game used to be played with in November, back in the day, like in the 80s when the series was actually pretty close before that losing streak began. The conference expanded, added Arkansas and South Carolina in 1992, and CM Newton just kind of, didn't put up a fight when they proposed it. And Kentucky football fans, some of them have been mad at him ever since. They're still over there cussing his name every time. We
could write a book about football fans and CM Newton and that decision. Some of the stuff that went on during his watch.
But you look at that, though, if you get a lot of momentum, like I wouldn't have minded playing Georgia this year at this time of the schedule. I mean,
yeah, my thing is like the new quarterback doesn't need 16 quarters to get his feet wet.
That's true.
I would have liked to have South Carolina maybe week 3, or Missouri week 3. I think the Vanderbilt trip in Nashville is pretty cool. Like in September, that'll be different. That'll be cool to go to Nashville in September, for the road trip. I mean, like I said, the 4-0 start is there for the taking.
Yeah,
but the Florida and Tennessee home games are just huge. You really got to get to like 6-2. I think would be what everybody will want to get to before you start this November burn and turn. I mean, you haven't won at Starkville in forever. Get Alabama back on the schedule. We all know what Kentucky's record is all time against them. You got you think you're going to beat South Carolina. You expect to beat South Carolina, but that's a tough turnaround. And then it's another tough turnaround after that for Louisville to get ready for Louisville in the Governor's Cup. So it's a tough ending stretch here to the season for Kentucky.
While you're negative Nancy Luckett, I'm going to be positive Patty and tell you that South Carolina, it's going to be just like 2020. Shane Beamer's going to be fired because
have you looked at South Carolina's schedule to start yet, Nick?
1-5. 1-5.
It is. They are going to be a favorite in maybe 2 of their first 8 games.
Yeah. So he's going to be fired. They're going to be deadbeat coach. So Luckett, shoes on the other foot now. See? That's how we turn the tables. You got to think differently.
If a coach is on the hot seat, it won't be Beamer. It'll be your guy in Como. I haven't pulled up Missouri's schedule yet. I went to their Twitter account on the way home, Nick, and they haven't even tweeted anything about it. So, I guess they're already dreading the 2023 football season. That would be the one you talking about coach on the hot seat here. It would be Drinkowitz. But that's Kentucky's 7th game in 7 weeks?
Yeah, the Missouri one.
Life in SEC.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they wanted to tank, wouldn't hate it. You do get Tennessee, though, Nick, after they go A&M, Bama.
Yeah.
That's a tough little grind there, and you get them off the bye. That is at home. That's when we break down the schedule next year, that is going to be a game I point to. There's no getting around it. You have to win that one. You get them off a bye. They have a new quarterback. They play A&M, Alabama. It could be a true freshman at quarterback. That's a game you need to win at home.
Well, and speaking of home schedule, I mean, if you just look at the home slate, you got to be excited if you're a season ticket holder. I know that it starts with the 3 kind of cupcakes, but you're excited early on in the year. You just want to be in the stadium and watch the team. But Florida, Tennessee, and Alabama, you
get the now, Keeneland, it's weird. It's only going to be one Keeneland game, the way I'm looking at it, right? Isn't it in before Halloween weekend?
No, it'll be there Halloween.
Well, that's that long? Okay.
Yeah.
So you get 2 SEC games, and you get them spread out. So that'll be exciting, I guess, for Missouri fans. They probably never got to experience the Keeneland double dip. The 12
Missouri fans.
The 12 of them that'll come up.
What is that?
But yeah, I think the Florida and Tennessee home games just really they stand out as the most important games on the schedule.
Well, and Luckett, I think as we near a close, we're going to have more on 11 personnel on Wednesday to touch on a variety of topics. We'll probably skim this over as well, but this is one of those scenarios where it's much more fun as a person who lives in Louisville and a person who does sports radio in Louisville to have a whole summer talking trash to idiot Louisville fans about how bad their football team is going to get their stupid Cardinal birth teeth kicked in week 1. The rivalry is much more fiery when it's week 1, when they don't know how bad they are yet. But from Kentucky's standpoint, if Scott Satterfield, if they keep him around for another year, which who knows what that's going to turn out to be, if you have you can erase a bad November, right? You can start out the season 5-0, steal a 6th or 7th win here and there, and you can get to 8 and erase a tough November slate by pounding your rival and then go into the Outback Bowl or whatever they're calling it now. That is one thing that is nice about having this game at the end of the year is building some artificial late season momentum.
It's set. Well, you radio hacks just want something to talk about in July.
Oh yeah.
But that game sets off-season storylines for the whole off-season. It's not just for the last month. So that game is at its rightful spot at the end of the season. But yeah, I mean, you got a great chance for Kentucky football for the longest time. Seasons just ended on a dud.
Yeah,
they played Tennessee and they lost
every year.
So now this new era, ending it with Louisville into have a few beatdowns here recently, 3 in a row, really.
Mm-hmm.
That's been nice, I think, for Kentucky fans to enjoy going into the bowl, a fun bowl spot with a pep in your step, and then you win the bowl game on top of it, and it just creates a lot of good feel good buzz heading into the off season. And when you stack seasons like they have, you're seeing the fruits of that labor now, where they're at right now as a program, and where they could be in the future. You look ahead, the roster next year, looking nice. I mean, that most of that defense can be back. You got to find a quarterback, but you're going to have one of the best receiver cores in the SEC. You have to think you're going to have running back questions you have to figure out, but the offensive line should take a step forward. Tight ends position should again be in pretty good shape, and then plus the unknown portal additions. You got to trust Kentucky's going to find at least 2 to 3, 4 quality players from the transfer portal that's going to upgrade their roster. So from that aspect, talent-wise, they're in a position where they should expect to beat, Missouri. Yep. They should expect to beat Mississippi State at this point. They're still ahead, I think, of South Carolina, even though Beamer, I think, is doing some good things with his most recent recruiting class. But their roster's in a shape where it's better than 7 foes going into the year. And that, if you pull a typical upset or two, that should get you 8-4. Like 8-4 should still probably be the expectation this year. It has to lower some just because you got that big A right there on November 11th.
Luckett, I think that's also a good place and a good time to send Nick Saban on his merry way. Mark Stoops has been handing out pink slips his entire career. It's only appropriate that he sends Saban packing on Veterans Day, week 11, 11/11/2023. Yeah. Mark it down on your calendars now. I can't wait to have that.
First time Bama's came to town in a real game, like 2020, no one could go. Or I guess they didn't come here in 2020.
2013.
Yeah, since Stoops' first year. So it's been a long time since Bama's been here. And get them November, I don't imagine that's happened too many times. Usually in the past at games like middle of October. Or start of October. Getting them in November is different. So that'll be
something to keep an eye on.
Especially Kentucky. If you get off to maybe a 7-2 start, you're going to be in the top 25 playing them, which could be fun.
It's going to be exciting, but we still got the 2022 season to wrap up. And you know what, Luckett? We might have wasted everybody's time because the SEC might just move to 9 games and bring Oklahoma and Texas over next year. So it's kind of all of a crapshoot. But, hey, thanks for hanging out with us for 12 minutes on the KSR YouTube page. Subscribe, and go visit our friends at portroyalplants.com. You won't be disappointed in their organic Kentucky Proud CBD products. For Adam Luckett, I'm Nick Roush. We'll see you on the other side on the KSR YouTube channel.